Hey everybody, it's Chris Denman in Tampa Bay, Florida, and I'm here today with Mike Rowe, and Mike Rowe is a diminished value expert. So we're gonna discuss diminished value claims, a property damage claim that many of our auto accident clients are faced with. So as a diminished value expert, what is it that you do? How is it that you help me out? And you help me out.
Well, basically, what diminution in value is the difference in a person's car just before an accident happened and just after that vehicle is repaired. Because even when it's repaired to the point where you would never know by looking at it that it was in an accident, because it's been in an accident, it's not worth the same amount as it was before it was in the accident. And it's a simple matter of any of us as automobile consumers would prefer to buy a car that wasn't in an accident over one that was. And we won't pay as much for a car in an accident, regardless of the fact that it looks right. So my basic role is to establish what that difference in value is so that it can be pursued and recovered as part of the claim.
Sure. So I know I come to you when I have, like, my client comes to me, they're in an accident. It's not their fault that they're in the accident. Their car has been damaged, often substantially. It's usually a newer vehicle. The other insurance company fixes their vehicle, and pays to have it fixed, but they know something's not right. They know they've still been screwed by what happened. And they say, listen, I know I can't sell my car for what I used to be able to sell it for. I know there's something here. And what you and I know is that there is something there. There's an actual property damage type of claim that you can pursue in Florida, and that's the diminished value claim. And that's when my client usually gives you a call.
Yes, that's exactly right. And I would emphasize what you correctly said about the fact that somebody else has to have caused that accident. So if a party was to, let's say, smash their car into a tree, right? They can't go back to their own insurer to recover this loss of value to their vehicle.
Right.
It has to be a situation where someone else caused the accident and that someone else is insured, has valid insurance. So that's an important part of the situation. And what I basically do is, first of all, I offer a free evaluation.
Okay.
My website is www.resalerecovery.com, all one word, resalerecovery.com. So I offer a free evaluation there, which means that I will take a look at the damage appraisal, and that provides the vast majority of the information I need to get an idea of what might this claim be worth, or is it valid. And I'll ask questions of the vehicle owner, such as, was your car in a prior accident, and other things that are important to be considered when determining whether or not this claim can be viable. But if through that process there appears to be a viable claim, I can actually, as part of that free evaluation, say, yeah, not only does it look like you have a good claim, but I think it's worth approximately X. Now, if you would like me to go forward and provide an expert opinion, I can do that, right? And at that point in time, a fee would be incurred. But one of the things I make sure of is that someone isn't paying for an expert opinion when there isn't a good potential to recover that money.
Sure. So why an expert opinion? Why not just go online, look at go online, do a run online with a search of a vehicle, and then just say, for the consumer, the person whose vehicle's been screwed up, why not just do that and then go to the insurance company and chat with them?
So there are a couple of reasons for that. And first and foremost, although from a pre-accident standpoint, right? In other words, if you were to say, what was this car worth before the accident happened, that research, frankly, could be done by pretty much anybody, because it's basically the retail book value of that vehicle prior to the accident. However, when we get into the post-accident situation, now there is no book, right, that you can go to. You can't go online and say, show me all the cars for sale that had an accident and the accident was of this nature or that nature. You're just not going to find the data. So there are, I'm aware through my expertise and my involvement in this over the years of what actually happens when somebody looks to sell a vehicle, and particularly somebody looks to trade a vehicle in that's had an accident. And I understand what a dealer does and how a dealer decides to put a price on that particular vehicle due to the fact that it's had an accident. And keep in mind that the dealer has a financial interest. They don't want to pay more in a trade for the vehicle than they're going to get back for it.
Sure.
So they're very, very mindful of the fact that this has had an accident, and when I try to sell this, it's going to be problematic, so I'm only going to give you X, and they have a way of going about doing that. I kind of replicate that process through, so it would just be very hard for someone to do that. And so that's kind of answer number one. Answer number two is that the law requires that the person presenting the claim, making the claim, bears the duty to prove that claim.
Right.
So without, significant proof, and I'm not saying it has to be an expert, but it's the most practical way that I can think of to meet that burden. That's the other place that would come in handy. That if you just got newspaper clippings or whatever it is, the insurance company for the person who caused the accident is not going to cooperate and not going to pay the claim, force you to file suit, and all that gets messy.
Yeah, in general, they tell you to pound sand is what they do, right?
Exactly.
They say, oh, I don't see a claim here, go to hell is what they do, right?
Yeah.
And so what you'll do for us is we build the claim, we present it, but really the big part of what we're doing is you're having the expert opinion that we're attaching to our demand letter to try to settle the diminished value claim with our clients. And a lot of times, most of the time, we get to settle these things without having to file a lawsuit. And a big part of it is because we're doing the work up front and we're making it crystal clear for the insurance adjuster, this is the claim, this is why we have a claim, this is the value of the claim to the penny. See the supporting material from my expert witness who's been tendered as an expert witness in court. And so everyone knows he knows his craft, and let's get this settled so we don't have to go to court.
Yeah, and along those lines, I'm local. I'm here in the Tampa Bay area, St. Pete area. I live in Clearwater, so they know. I'm going to, if they force us to go to trial, and that rarely happens, but if they do, I'm going to show up.
Right.
I'm going to be there. You could, there are experts out there that will sell you reports for, cheap money, and they're out in Ohio or they're here or there. Well, an insurance company sees a report from someone like that, they know those people aren't going to fly out here and go to court.
Can't do anything with it.
Right, exactly. So when they look at a report from someone like me, and there are other good experts that are out there as well, that are local people, that is what influences them to pay the claim without litigation. And that's in the best interest of everybody involved, because the claims settle much more quickly that way and with less expense.
Right, and it's a fixed fee, right, for your service. It's usually between $300, $500, something like that,
exactly.
Depending on the circumstance. And then, right, what are you gonna do? Fly somebody in for $1,000? It's just not gonna work. Put them up in a hotel room. And the insurance companies, they know that.
Right? They know. So it's all about what you're able to present to them in terms of a package. I was on the other side for many years. I spent 30 some odd years in the insurance industry. I wrote appraisals on the street in body shops, and I climbed up to the top as a vice president of claims. And we teach claim people on the insurance side to look at that case and say, okay, although we know it's probably never going to go to trial, if it did,
right,
how would we stand? And if we feel like we've got a good defensible position and the other side has not done the work to prepare the claim well, we're gonna, they're gonna hold the line. That's how it is. But if we look at that claim and say, damn, the ducks are lined up here,
right?
They've really laid this thing out, we're gonna pay, and we're gonna pay more on that case. It absolutely matters.
So 30 years on the other side, huh?
30 years on the other side. I finally saw the light.
And so you take that experience, and I know the deal because you've been tendered as an expert for me before, but that's the sort of experience that you have. You know the business on the other side. That's what enables you to offer the opinions that you're able to offer.
That's true, and I will add something else because it's a little bit personal for me. I saw this coming, and in the position I was in, I said, look, we shouldn't be, denying and resisting all of these claims. And that didn't help me a lot in my career, let's just put it that way. So, there's no question that people deserve this compensation in the right situations. You got a relatively newer vehicle and you've had substantial damage done to it, that car is worth a lot less, and thousands less. And so for insurance companies to ignore that, which is exactly what they do, because they're not going to bring it up to you,
Right.
right? Their body shop isn't going to tell you, your agent isn't going to tell you. I mean, there's a real effort to suppress this. And that's part of hopefully what we're doing here today is helping to get the word out to people that they've got legitimate claims, and if they are pursued in the proper manner, they can be very, very successful, particularly in Florida because the law is quite favorable.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, right, man. So I have injury clients, they come in and, and they're hurt and we're handling their injury claim and we focus on that. But for some of our clients, especially up front at the beginning, it can be painful for them to say, I have a car, it's $25,000 for my car. I have a loan against it that's like $23,000. I just bought it last year and now it got wrecked. They fixed it, but I mean, what am I going to get? $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 for it if I sell it? And that's a huge differential. And then it's painful to think I got to keep paying the loan on this car, right? Especially if they don't have gap insurance. Just a big mess. So these are real claims, very valid claims. And like you said, in Florida, the law is really on our side to help our clients recover in these cases, man.
Right.
So being on the inside, anything else being on the other side and having that experience? Are there any tips, any things that you picked up that we haven't chatted about that we should mention?
Well, I think that these claims are very difficult for individuals to pursue on their own. Insurance companies just don't take individuals seriously because they know individuals can't mount the kind of legal activity and know the law and procedures and so forth. And so when an individual comes up against an insurance company, their tendency is just to stonewall. So, as an insider, I know you're better off being represented, right? And even though it involves a contingency fee, there's no question in my mind that people will end up with more money in their pocket, and they'll get it quite a bit sooner with an attorney than without an attorney. It shouldn't be that way, but it is that way.
Sure.
And one other thing I would like to say, because there's a safety aspect to this, which is that today's cars are predominantly unibody constructed, which means rather than the old full steel frame that they used to have where cars would just, collide and have all kinds of, passengers bouncing around and so forth, the unibody car was constructed to remove that big steel frame and instead to just weld the critical panels together to form a semi-frame, in which is why they use the term unibody.
Sure.
The panels welded together. That lightened the vehicles and allowed the gas mileage to improve substantially. It was one of the main reasons, but in addition, an opportunity was taken by the automobile engineers to engineer safety, meaning they actually designed these frames to collapse in a controlled way to control the energy of the accident and to protect the passengers in the vehicle. And it absolutely has worked because injury severities have come down substantially as a result of it. But the problem is that although a body shop, where a unibody is compromised, although the body shop can pull it back into factory tolerances, right? What is left though is a weakness in the metal that A, cannot be measured, and B, can never be corrected. So the vehicle at the unibody work is not the same as it was before. All of us are afraid of touching a car with frame damage or unibody damage, right? So there's a reason to be concerned because if that vehicle were to be in a second accident in the same area, there is no guarantee as to how the unibody would respond in that situation. That's something people really should be aware of. And many, many times those vehicles have wheel alignment problems and all kinds of issues going forward, which is the reason, they are stigmatized so much and why if you happen to have a vehicle and you were in an accident and the unibody was compromised, you'd have a very difficult time trading that vehicle to get any money for it. And that's not fair. When you bought that car, you didn't go out to buy a car that had unibody damage and was in a serious collision. So you are certainly not made whole, which is the purpose of insurance, simply because the vehicle is fixed and it looks good.
Right.
That's just not enough. So that's really the key message, I think.
Absolutely. Cool, man. Well, Mike, thank you much, man. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure working with you, sir.